In this video, I'm going to show you what I learned about rosemary as the nootropic. What is it? Why we use it? The science behind it? Dosage and negative effects. Rosemary is an aromatic herb, with needle-shaped leaves native to Northern Asia and the Mediterranean. Rosemary's medical usage goes back to the ancient Greeks and Romans of 500 BC. Greek trainees wore garlands of rosemary on their head to promote memory throughout tests as Janus name. Rosemary has enjoyable flavor and scent, and bitter taste, which is used in many traditional dishes. It can be utilized in the form of fresh leaves powder, or as an essential oil. Rosemary has also been generally used to relieve pain, enhance memory, increase immunity and to promote hair development. Rosemary is an excellent source of calcium, iron, vitamin A, vitamin B6, vitamin C, and provides potent antifungal and antibacterial properties. Compounds found in rosemary oil have actually been revealed to increase memory. The compound 1,8-cineol serves as an anesthetic cholinesterase inhibitor, which improves acetylcholine levels in your brain, in the same way as drugs that are prescribed to treat dementia. A study carried out at Mahidol University in Thailand in 2013, checked rosemary necessary oil and its effects on the human central nervous system. 20 healthy subjects aged 18 to 28 years were asked to breathe in the fragrance of rosemary vital oil. Then it was found that alpha brain waves reduced, and beta brain waves increased after inhalation of the oil. This modification in brainwave activity increased alertness and improved thinking performance. This study confirmed the stimulant effects of breathing in the aroma of rosemary important oil. Rosemary important oil is likewise proven as a stress reliever. It acts by decreasing cortisol levels. Rosemary increases brain health and function in numerous ways, however two in particular stick out. Firstly, rosemary enhances memory, and has actually typically been utilized to enhance cognitive performance and mood, and those reports have been verified in current medical studies. A study conducted at the University of Northumbria in the UK dealt with 144 volunteers. In this study, the group who breathed in rosemary vital oil showed a general improvement in memory and mood, and in 2013, Gemma McCready and Dr. Mark Moss from the University of Northumbria conducted a research study with 66 grown-ups. The focus was on the perspective on viewpoint memory, which includes remembering things that were bound to happen in the future, or just remembering things that were important for daily functioning. The test group were taken into a space instilled with rosemary vital oil, and the control group was taken into a space with no fragrance. The study found that the group in the rosemary fragrant room carried out 60 to 75% much better on potential memory tests than the control group. In 2017, the exact same scientists presented their findings to the British Psychological Society annual conference in Brighton. In a follow-up research study, they had recruited 40 children aged at 10 to 11 to discover if rosemary produced a comparable benefit in the young. And once again, the test group were taken into a rosemary-infused room, and the control group were taken into a space that didn't have any scent. The researchers found that the children in the rosemary-scented room performed 5 to 7% better in working memory ratings than the kids in the control group. Secondly, rosemary is neuroprotective. The bioactive substances found in rosemary are called potent neuroprotectors. Animal research shows that phenolic compounds in rosemary decreases oxidative stress. Animals pre-treated with rosemary experienced far less brain damage throughout an ischemic stroke, and recovered with higher neurological scores because of an intact blood-brain barrier. Rosemary extract has actually been used typically, and in modern-day times also to ease pain. Studies reveal that terpenoid, and to a lesser level rosmarinic acid, substantially decreases discomfort level of sensitivity. Rosemary protects nerve fibers, and avoids the decrease in both myelin thickness and axon size, and assists preserve the plasticity of glial cells and astrocytes involved in discomfort maintenance, and in turn avoiding sensations of discomfort and alterations in the nervous system induced by nerve injury. Its anti-neuropathic residential or commercial properties can be credited to rosemary binding to nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, which are polypeptides that respond to the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. It minimizes neuropathic hypersensitivity and safeguards nerve tissue when rosemary binds to these receptors. Rosemary is a potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. The advised dose for rosemary, for nootropic benefit, is 750 mg daily. Rosemary essential oil, in a diffuser is 1 ml, or 10 to 40 drops as needed as inotropic, is thought to be non-toxic and safe when utilized as suggested. Rosemary has actually been used by mankind for millennia as a food dressing, so as inotropic should be well tolerated by the majority of people. Rosemary has been shown, in animal designs, to produce sperm count in male rats, and terminate fetuses in female rats. But remember that, the dose size of the rosemary in rats, was 250 to 500 mg per kilogram of body weight. So these are much greater dosages, than what we would use as a nootropic, and the authors of this study associated these side effects to reductions in testosterone brought on by high-dose rosemary. So unless you do incredibly high dosages of rosemary or you're a rat, you must be alright. Do not utilize rosemary if you are using blood-thinning medication or ACE inhibitors used to treat hypertension. Do not take rosemary important oil internally, because it might cause throwing up, uterine bleeding, kidney inflammation, increased sun sensitivity, skin inflammation, and allergic reactions, and do not utilize rosemary as a nootropic supplement if you are pregnant, since it can stimulate a miscarriage. If you're breastfeeding, you ought to utilize rosemary in small amounts. Best to talk to your doctor initially. If you are diabetic, or pre-diabetic, or suffering from insulin resistance, you should avoid using rosemary inotropic. Also, avoid using rosemary if you are undergoing chemotherapy. Rosemary is available as a nootropic supplement in capsules, tablets and bags of powder as an extract. Search for rosemary standardized to 20% rosmarinic acid, 20% diatropines, and 10 carnosic acid. Rosemary essential oil can be utilized in aromatherapy for topical applications on your skin. If you wish to see more videos about the best nootropics used today, subscribe to this channel before you leave.